Hello everyone, it's story time again. This is Jeff again. Hi! Today I have another Grimm's fairy tale, but this time it has a very good ending. No, it's not so dark. This story is called Jorinda and Joringel. The names are spelled with a J, but in Germany and in Scandinavia, J is pronounced like a Y. Jorinda, Joringel. So, now I'll begin. Once upon a time, there was an old castle that was in the midst of a thick forest. And there was a witch who dwelt there all alone. She lived there all alone. And during the daytime, she would turn herself into a cat or an owl. And she would always, she would be flying around or running around as a cat or an owl. And at night, she would return to her proper form, her true form as a witch. She would lure wild beasts and kill them and boil them and roast them. Always. This is how she lived. The thing was about her, though, is that no one could come within 100 paces of her castle. So 100 paces is 100 steps near her castle. If they did, they would have to stand still. For a man, he would have to stand still and not stir from that spot, meaning he could not move. He could not stir from that spot until she broke the spell. He would not be able to move. If it was an innocent maiden, an innocent girl, they would be changed into birds. And it was said that the witch had 7,000 birds in her castle that she kept. They were maidens, but she turned them all into birds. This is the story. Now, at this time, there was a young couple named Jorinda, who is the girl, and Joringel, who's the man. Jorinda was considered to be the most beautiful of all the maidens in the land. And she and Joringel had promised to get married. So one day, they decided to take a walk through the forest. And they were talking to each other, enjoying the forest, having a good time. Because they enjoyed the quiet of the forest. In the quiet forest, they walked and they talked. But after a while, Jorinda became sad. And so did Joringel. Because they had gotten lost in the forest. And Joringel had said before that if they walked through the forest, that they had to take great care not to be anywhere near the witch's castle. They had to be very careful not to go near that castle. So they had gotten lost and they didn't know where they were. So they were very sad. And what happened was, suddenly, as they were walking around, Joringel saw the wall of the castle. And he was struck with a great fear. They were very near the castle. In fact, they had gone beyond 100 paces. And he heard Jorinda singing, "Little bird whose neck is red, find yourself, you may be dead. La 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 la, yuck, 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 yuck." Suddenly, her voice changed to yuck, 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 yuck. She had turned into a nightingale and was flying. Yuck, yuck, yuck. She was flying away. Now, Joringel knew that being by the castle, he could not move. He could not speak. He could not cry. He could do nothing. And then, at that time, he saw an owl flying around the nightingale, going, "Too-hoo! Too-hoo! Too-hoo!" And he stood there until the sun set, and then the owl flew into the bushes. And then the witch appeared. Now she was yellow and lean, and she had a crooked body. She had a crooked body and a long nose that reached her chin. It was a long curved nose that reached her chin. And she talked to herself as she caught the nightingale and took it away. Caught it, took it away. At that moment, the spell was broken, and Joringel began to beg and cry for the witch to please give him back Jorinda. "Please give me back Jorinda, I beg you." But the witch did not answer him, and she left. Very sad. So Joringel, after that, he traveled the land, and he decided to get a job keeping sheep, which he did very well. He had this job, but all the time he thought of Jorinda. All the time he could not sleep. But one day, when he did sleep, he had a dream of a beautiful flower. It was a magic flower. It was very beautiful. And in fact, in the center of it, it had a pearl inside. And this was to be a magic flower. So Joringel decided to walk across the land to find this flower. And it took him 9 days. And when he finally found the flower, it was a beautiful red flower. And inside there was a drop of dew that looked almost like a pearl. So he took this flower and he went back to the castle. And he walked round and round the castle. And then he decided to go in. As he walked towards the castle, he realized he could move freely near the castle. He wasn't stuck in one place. So he walked straight to the door and he touched it with the flower. And the door sprang open. Bing! The door's open. And he walked through the castle. And he went up the stairs. And he opened the door. And he saw the witch feeding 7,000 birds in wickerwork cages. She was feeding 7,000 birds. And so, when the witch saw him, she became very angry. And she shouted at him. She scolded him. And she was spitting poison and gall at him. She was yelling at him. Now, Joringel did not listen to her. In fact, he was looking at all the nightingales because there were several hundred of them. And he wondered, where was she? Where is she? Where is Jorinda? He's thinking. As he was thinking that, the witch quietly took one of the cases and tried to walk away. She tried to walk away. But Joringel sprang towards the witch and touched the witch and the case with the flower. Now when he touched the witch, she could no longer do magic. She could not bewitch anyone ever again. And when he touched the bird, it became Jorinda again, with her arms around his neck, and she was as beautiful as ever. And that's the end. Nice ending this time. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.